I just wanted to make this video. It's crazy how long it takes to correct uh, your mind from all the lies that you were taught throughout most of your life from this world. All the lies. It's amazing how long it takes to keep countering it with the truth that God's trying to reveal. You know what I mean? It takes a while. You know what I mean? The onslaught from this world is constant lies since I had my first memories. Lies were coming at me. You know what I mean? Lies, lies, lies. You know, Joseph Smith, lie. You know, that kind of thing. Joseph Smith, this Joseph Smith story, that was a lie right out of the gates. Lies. Yeah. So it's been tough. You know what I mean? And then the lies from the atheist. You know, these things. The scientists are trying to prove or say they proved, but they really didn't prove. Oh yeah, let's just guess about stuff, you know. With all the missing links in the evolution theory, there's so many missing links, it's not even funny. How could, you know what I mean? Like, hello. So the atheist is out the window. God's correcting me from all the atheist lies. No joke. All them are out the window. You know what I mean? I don't want to break the news to my friend. You know what I mean? That's a man of science. There's some truth to science, but a lot of it is wrong, and they try to disprove God with their science. They try to. You know what I mean? They do. There's like an agenda behind it. You know what I mean? For real. Because if you can prove this, it disproves the creation, God's creation. God creating it, stuff Himself. You know what I mean? As said in the Bible. You know what I mean? And that's what I assumed. And I confirmed this before in my life that the agenda to to disprove God, get your attention away from God, the agenda. I already know that. But the programming is still in my mind from the world, despite knowing that. And God knows it. I still struggle with the lies, The world's telling me this, that I should do this, and that I should do this, and I should do that. God's like, no, don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. You know what I mean? Don't listen to them. That's what He's doing. No joke. Instead of putting God first, take a pill. Instead of putting God first, see a professional. Instead of putting God first, that's what God's telling me. It's true though. You know what I mean? It's true. It's so true. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough to get that programming out of your mind. It is. It's tough. The psychopath programming. Even the mental health field is taken over by psychopaths. You know what I mean? That's probably why I got nowhere. Really. I kind of got somewhere, but at the end of the day, God knows and I know. God's the only one that can actually heal me, really, from my whole life of horrible things. You know what I mean? My whole lifetime of that. Surviving demons, surviving psychopaths, surviving this world that's just throwing lies at you every 2 seconds. Anyways, it's a wicked world. It is. It's tough out here. It is. It's tough to keep staying alive in this world. It is. The distractions are always coming. It's just never ending. It's like never ending. It's a long road to correct your whole life. You know what I mean? Everything you thought was legit from school. Nope. They were lying in the history books. You know what I mean? They were lying in the science books. They were lying in, you know what I mean? Just name a book. They're lying to you in the school system. You know, the only thing that was true was math. 2 + 2 = 4. That was the only thing that was true, I swear. You know what I mean? That was like the one true thing I learned in school was math. No joke. And the only true thing I learned in Mormonism was Jesus. But they taught Jesus wrong. But at least they mentioned him. But that was the only true thing I learned in Mormonism was Jesus himself. That's it. Yep. That was the only true thing I was taught in that whole religion. Was just Jesus. Crazy. All those years being taught wrong. All those years being taught wrong. That's why some of the comments are like, "That's not correct." You're probably right. I haven't been corrected to the full truth yet. I haven't. God's slowly revealing the real truth to me slowly. So some of the stuff I say, I think is the truth at the time, and I'm telling the truth, but it's not. You get what I mean? Yeah. That's why if I think it's the truth, I get corrected by God, and I'm like, oh, okay, that maybe not be the truth. You know what I mean? God's corrected me a lot. You know what I mean? And He's chastised me a lot for my benefit, though. You know. Like I said, I'm a lost boy that didn't have a father. So God has to be my father. He does. Absolutely. He has to be my father. Like for real. Whether he has to talk through other people to instruct me along the way, that's what he has to do. That's what he has to do to be my father. You know what I mean? To make up for all the years I didn't have a father, basically. So, he was saying how great it would be for me to overcome my entire past and stuff. And that would be great. It would. Just overcome it once and for all. My whole past. You know what I mean? Everything. And just live a beautiful life with Jesus. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to do. I am. I saw a comment about a scapegoat was saying that they thought God was evil. And I had that point of view. And I said that in their comment. I'm like, I had that point of view. Because I was a scapegoat. I thought God was evil as hell. I did. So I understand that viewpoint from the scapegoat. That they can see, they can have that perception. That's what I'll say. They can have that perception that God is evil. The scapegoat. I understand that. I understand that very well. I didn't see that comment by accident. I'm not the only one that perceived God incorrectly. I'm not the only one. No. I too thought God was evil. Or he was against me. Or he went bad. Something. It was that confusing of an experience growing up. And that one-sided against me. But all things are worked together for God's good. That's another thing I was reminded today. All things are worked together for God's good in the end. No matter how horrible it was. For all of us. For all of us, you know what I mean? Yep. But yeah, the preacher said something as well. No one can hide from God. No one. Nothing they do is hidden from God. I agree. I agree. If you think you're hiding something from God, think again. Think again. No. 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 Sorry to bust your bubble. Sorry to bust your bubble. God sees all. He does. Sorry to bust your invisible imaginary bubble right now. He sees what you're doing. I promise. He even saw what they were doing around me to harm me. It's nothing that was talked about today. He saw everything that was done to harm me. When I didn't think that anybody saw that what they were doing to harm me. It was all seen by God. All of it. Decades of abuse. Think about that. Decades of all different kinds of abuse against me was all seen by God. All of it. All of it was seen. No joke. Scary but true. Scary but true. Man. And another thing that was talked about was God's justice coming. It's true. Judgment Day is a real thing. It is. It is. Judgment Day is a real thing. Hate to break the news to people. I think they got away with the stuff. They didn't. No. You may have gotten away with it in this society. You may have gotten away with it, but not with God. You didn't get away with it. Nope. Nope. You did not get away with it at all. Talked about the flood again. It was probably God talking to me. Yeah, it was. This guy talks for God. He does. This different guy. His name's Earl. He's been talking to me a lot. He was talking about the flood, and I found this interesting. God said that He gave everybody like 100 and something years to repent. You know what I mean? Before the flood, like 129 years for Noah to preach, for the people to repent, or something like that, But in the end, only 8 of them survived. The 8-man team back in the day, the 8-man team on Noah's Ark. There was an 8-man team even back then. You know what I mean? No joke. Man. Yeah, we got confirmed again. Only 8 people survived the flood. 8. An 8-man team survived the flood. Yep. But God knows I'm struggling with the Christian life. It's a hard adjustment, you know what I mean? From all your habits and stuff, the way you always do things, you have to do it differently now. You have to read the Bible. You have to pray. I'm not used to doing all that. God knows it. I'm not used to praying all that time and stuff. You know what I mean? It's a whole different lifestyle change. It's tough. It's a big commitment to be saved. It's a big commitment. That's why I was hesitant. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, the warfare is going to be insane after I get saved, and it was. And I would have to change my ways entirely forever. Change my ways forever. No matter how long it takes to change my ways, I'm going to have to change my ways. You know what I mean? The way I think, the way I do things, change my ways entirely to be a man of God eventually. You know what I mean? This is tough, JR. This is tough, man. No, Joe. I'm glad you support me still. I'm not alone in this, The Battle Axe not alone in this. But it's interesting. It's like God saved the truth for the end for me. I grew up around lies like you would not believe. God saved the real truth for the end. He did. That's what he did. He saved the real truth to guide me down for the end. For the end times. He saved the real truth. In this world full of lies, he saved the truth for the end. The real truth. Yep. Yep. Like I said before, well, I don't know if I said it before. It feels like the real king, Jesus, is like commanding his general down here, helping his general get his shit together. Pardon my language. Getting his stuff together, you know what I mean? All of his bad habits and stuff. No joke. Because if I could disprove him in any way, he knows I don't have to change. Get what I mean? You disprove Jesus, there's no crucifix, no Son of God, nothing. The sin thing goes out the window. It does. The sin thing goes out the window. The repent thing goes out the window if Jesus is not legit. See what I mean? But now that he is legit, I have to change, and I have to do it in front of everybody, and it's embarrassing. You know what I mean? Changing in front of everybody is embarrassing. You know what I mean? God brings in someone that's sins most of his life, pretty much, to survive. Brings him in, you know, among people that are pretty much don't sin as much as me. Let's just say that. Not as much as me. But a lot of my sins are coping, you know what I mean? Coping with the warfare, like smoking. You know, I consider smoking a sin, but I did it to survive. I did these sins to survive. I did. To cope with the stress. And God explained God explained how I function, you know what I mean? Like he explained it exactly why I struggle. Exactly why. Right in front of me. He was talking through the preacher totally. He was explaining why I struggle in every way. Like the cycle, you know, what I do and stuff. He explained it perfectly. I'm like, God knows, like he knows this, you know. He's good, you know. He's good. But yeah, God's tweaking me little by little, you know, finishing up the axe in a way. I don't know if I'm close to being finished yet. The final product of the axe, you know. I don't know. Like I said, God's just warm. He's just winding up. Yeah, yeah. Just like in that movie Ultron, when he's the Age of Ultron, the Avengers movie. Ultron talks about the flood and how God did the flood and how he's gonna wipe out mankind again. He talks about that. He's like, believe me, God's winding up. He's winding up. He is. But it's slow. It's a slow winding up. Like in the flood days, 129 years of winding up. I don't know if it'll take that long, but I'm not sure. Like I said, I can't believe God's still trying to save people, even still. That surprised me. God is still trying to save people. He is. Save them from themselves. Save them from this world, the influence of this world. Save them from their, you know what I mean? You know, their bad lifestyle. You know, save them, you know, from their darkness. You know, he's still trying. I know because I'm helping. I'm helping God save people. I'm trying, you know what I mean? I'm actually helping. Before I wasn't helping to save people. I wasn't. I'm just like, we'll just burn together, you know. Before I was doing that. Now I'm like, I'm actually actively trying to help God save people, bring them to the real truth, you know, of what Jesus taught. You know what I mean? The real truth. And like I said, uh, these Baptists are doing things correctly for God. They are. As far as like a lot of things, uh, you should always be somewhat detached from religion, always, and just be more with God. But God utilizes churches as a tool. He does. He uses churches as a lighthouse, a tool to assist you on your life walk. As long as it's not a corrupt church, you know. And I'm pretty sure he led me to one that is not corrupt, not at all. Nope. And that's what I talked to Earl about. I'm like, so this church passed your test of approval? He's like, yes. I'm like, all right. All right. And not just passed John the Baptist's approval, it passed Earl's approval. So that means something to me. You know what I mean? If it passed their approval, that means they're doing something right. They are doing something right. Anyways, some of the Baptists respect me, but some do not. They don't know who I am yet. That's a good thing. At this point, it's a good thing. Because I'm not ready for that. I'm not. I'll just say that. I'm not strong enough for a reveal of who I am to God's actual followers, to God's real followers. That's what I'll say. I like a huge reveal to God's actual followers. I know I am known by the enemy. I know that much. You know, I know I'm known by them. You know, and the narcissists, some of the narcissists, I'm known by them. I'm known by them, but by God's actual followers, I'm not really known. You know what I mean? I'm just barely being introduced to God's real followers. Barely. You know what I mean? No joke. But yeah. Crazy how many lies this world taught me. Crazy. Crazy how many lies. So many lies. Even though I know I was lied to, it's still hard for the mind to overcome it. You get what I mean? It's still hard for my mind to overcome all the lies of my life. Even though my mind rationally knows I was lied to. I know I was. But still, it's still hard for the mind to cope with the truth that you were lied to your whole life. Except for the Jesus thing. Except for that. That's about it. That's about it. Another thing I was taught that Jesus is like the opposite of Satan, the father of lies. Jesus always tells the truth. He's the opposite. God cannot lie. And the preacher talked about that as well. Like, all men lie. We all lie. We do. We've all lied. But to come across someone that's why this was so unbelievable to me at first. The God cannot lie thing. I've never come across that in this lifetime. Someone more honest than me? someone more honest than me I'm dealing with here? You know, no way. No way. Yeah. Yeah. And Jesus says he does not change either. So another solidity thing. Another solidity thing. He doesn't change. I guess you don't have to change if you're the best. I guess not. You know, if you're already the best, you're already at the top. You know, you don't need to change. Anyway, but yeah, it's a long walk of correcting. Yeah, it's a long walk. Yeah. Like I said, even though I know I was lied to, it's still hard. It's still hard for the mind. It is. Because you were taught by the world that this is how the world works, this is how you do things, this is how this, that. You know what I mean? In the end, no one knows what the hell they're talking about. In the end, no one knows what the hell they're talking about. They don't. It's like the blind leading the blind out there, blind leading the blind out there. The only one that knows how to guide you properly is God. That's it. You know what I mean? Otherwise, it's the blind leading the blind. No joke. Blind leading the blind off cliffs, basically. Anyways, that's all I'll say for this video. I think I said enough, but I'll talk to you later.